Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout to share for Cocoa Vanilla Studio. I am using the very beautiful Heart and Home collection and I thought I'd try a bit of paper weaving today, you know, mix it up a bit and do something a bit different. So I was totally inspired by the stripy paper, the one with all the wonky kind of watercolory stripes all over it. They're quite narrow, which is what gave me the idea, because I was thinking, if I cut these apart, what could I do with them? And that's when the paper weaving idea hit me. So I cut up a whole sheet into the colourful strips, cut away the white parts, and then I cut each of the strips in half to make them around 6 inches wide, long each. I have popped them onto a piece of white cardstock, and I've gone colour order, and I've done two per colour, so 2 blue, 2 light blue, 2 green, 2 yellow, etc. And then I'm taking the other pieces and I'm weaving them in between. So I stuck all of my vertical stripes to my piece of white cardstock, and then I'm taking each of the other strips and I'm weaving under, over, under, under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay, so in theory, that sounds extremely easy and straightforward. In practice, it's a little bit more fiddly than what you might think. So I've stuck all of those ends in place so that my strips don't move, but they still moved. And then you have to just get your rhythm right as to whether you're going under or over, because then on the second strip, you need to do the opposite. So if the first one went over, then the next one down needs to go under, etc. So you need to alternate. I'm sure you all know how to paper weave, and say you can just watch what I'm doing here, and you can see that it is fairly straightforward and it does come together fairly quickly, but it was just something a little bit different that I thought I would see how it looked really, but I was really happy with how it turned out. I should say that I went in colour order, so I went in whatever order I chose initially, so you can see the blue to light blue to green to yellow. When I did the other stripes, I went in the same order. So I started with the 2 blues, then went on to the 2 light blues, then went on to the 2 greens, then went on to the 2 yellows, etc. So I'm following the same pattern, obviously. So what that ended up with is like a blue top corner coming down to a red bottom corner, effectively. Of course, it's all weaved together, so it doesn't necessarily make much difference, but I just felt that it had a little bit of colour flow that way. So that was my aim anyway. Right, so I've got to the end, and now I need to somehow secure it because it all keeps moving. So I'm just spending a few minutes, putting all the pieces as close together as I can. So I'm just gripping each one and kind of sliding it up to meet its neighbour as quick as possible. And I'm doing that from both sides, so from the right and the left, but also from the top and the bottom. And then you can see I've just turned it over and I'm doing the same thing there, just trying to make it all nice and tight, And then my last one, honestly, this red strip just did not want to stay in place. So I'm just allowing it to fall out for now. And now I'm just going to go and add that very naughty strip back in. And then I'm going to secure that on the back as well. But it just wouldn't stay put. I think it's because those ends had been under-overed many times and it was just a little bit loose. So just going to get that one back into place. There we go. And quickly secure it with some tape before it moves again and tries to escape again. So there we go. And there I have a lovely piece of paper weaving. It's actually really lovely. I wanted it to the ends to look a bit abstract so that it looked a bit like a patch. We have a scarecrow in the photo. So that was where the inspiration for that kind of came from. And it's around about 6 inches square, slightly smaller, and say the ends, the weaved part, if I was to do it exact, is a little bit smaller. The ends make it around 6 by 6. So yeah, so I've ended up with this lovely piece of weaved paper. Just a little something different. Haven't done paper weaving for absolutely ages. Literally can't remember the last time I did it. So it's nice to have done something that is a little bit different. I've got my one photo in place at the moment, but planning to add another one. And then I've got the words homegrown. So the photo is in a field. It's at the top of a bridge. In a cornfield, the corn mazes that they make out at the farms. So we were at a farm and spend my life at the farm. We're at a farm and in the corn maze, and there is a scarecrow with a patch on his hat, and my little one with the scarecrow, and then with me. He suddenly decided, he's normally really cooperative and loves having his photo taken, but he decided on this day that he didn't want to have his photo taken. So he's standing there next to the scarecrow looking really grumpy, and then he's even not smiling in the photo with me, even though I was trying to tickle him. So he was really determined to not have his photo taken for some reason, which I say is unusual. And I hope that is not a forecast of things to come, because you know, I need my photo subjects. So yeah, I've gone for the homegrown title, one of those beautiful gold foiled titles. They're so stunning, they're so shiny and such a beautiful gold that yeah, I loved it. But I struggled with the arrangement of this layout, because I really wanted to show off that beautiful paper weaving, but then I wanted to also put things on top of it, which meant that it would get covered. So I was trying to utilise the space that wasn't on the paper weaving. However, I didn't like that. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm moving things around. I'm trying to figure out my arrangement. And eventually I get there. Sometimes you have to do these things, don't you? It doesn't always come together exactly naturally. I had lots of elements here that I wanted to put together, and I just had to try to figure out how they best fitted together, really. So and looked right on the white space background too. So pretty much settled on that now. I've got my floral cluster in the top left. I've got 2 photos bottom right. So I've got a bit of a diagonal thing going on there. I'm adding some more flowers and just making those sprays look lovely. So here I've skipped forwards now and everything is stuck down. And now I'm just adding some word strips. Now I've cut those from the piece of paper with all the words on and the phrases. So I've cut those out. They're quite skinny. I have distressed the edges of each one and raised them all on foam pads. So I've got some over on the right hand side and some over on the left hand side, and I'm loving how that looks. Just adding a floral frame in there. I cut that in half. It's an ephemera frame, the oval one, and I've just cut that in half and poked the 2 sides either side of my photo. I just love those loopy hand-drawn doodled frames. I always enjoy using those, so yeah, I thought I would use them here as well, either side of my photo. Coming in now with some hearts from the puffy stickers, trying to stick kind of colour on colour. So at the top there I've got blue flowers because that was the blue section of my weaving, and I've put blue hearts. Then over in the bottom right, you can't see it because it's under the photos, but there's the red section, so I've got red flowers. Above the photos, it's also a bit of a reddy, pinky, yellowy section, so I've got those flowers in that section as well. Yeah, it's all coming together quite nicely. I can't believe how well the paper weaving turned out. Give it a go. You saw how I did it. It wasn't overly complex. It didn't take a very long time, and actually I thought it was really effective. So good little technique to try if you fancy something different. I mean, we all scrapbook all the time. Certainly I scrapbook loads. So therefore I feel like I do the same things over and over again. And sometimes it's just good to try something different. So take you out of your comfort zone and, you know, do that. So anyway, give it a go if you're feeling brave. Not that you need to be brave. It was easy. Took me back to my childhood. Right, okay, so I'm just finishing off with some splatters of paint, and I chose to go for gold paint this time because of the rich kind of goldy tones, warm feel in this layout. And there we go, layout complete. And my journaling is over on the right hand side. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. There we go, isn't that beautiful? I hope you enjoyed seeing the paper weaving come together and the layout as well, and I hope you give it a go. Thank you so much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Cocoa Vanilla Studio.